Hey guys, I'm Dr. Angela Scopel here at Finish First Injury Prevention Specialist. I'm going to go over the WholelifeRx program, the 12-week program that we're launching. I'm going to first go ahead and share my screen with you as I want you to be able to see the webinar, the PowerPoint that goes with it. There we go. So I hope you can see my screen there. I want to take the time to go over the entire program. We've had so many questions about what this 12-week program entails and all the benefits to it. And really, we've put our heart and soul into this program because if anyone has worked with us in the past, you know that we are so passionate about health and nutrition. We are chiropractors here at Finish First. And even when we talk to you about musculoskeletal health, we're always asking, if something's hurting you, what's your diet like? What's your lifestyle like? Are there other factors that are causing inflammation in your body? And with that being said, I think looking back at the year 2020 and all the chaos that was brought to us from the pandemic and all the fear that was brought to us, knowing that people with pre-existing conditions were more at risk for the virus and it affected their outcome of the virus. And so it's never been more obvious that we really need to take the time and put ourselves and our health first so that we can, withstand things that life is going to throw at us that we didn't plan for. And so this program, it's a 12-week program, and essentially it is everything that you could want out of a health program in reference to it's going to handhold you. I have built this program to every turn in it to be able to have accessibility to myself, via email, weekly Q&As to answer questions. I'm hosting, providers in the community their health providers to be a part of this program to really educate you. So you're getting so much education, so much hand-holding, step-by-step instructions. It's a foolproof 12-week program. And so we are so excited to bring this to you. So let me kind of just jump in and get started. So I'm going to move along to the first PowerPoint slide. Obviously, welcome. Like I said, 2020 was really an eye-opener for us. And one thing I also want to talk about, because a lot of people, have maybe said, well, hey, I didn't have a pre-existing condition, but maybe I did struggle with the virus. Well, I think some of the things that we don't think about as pre-existing conditions are things like obesity, especially central obesity, which is, like around the abdomen area. Those are things that's one thing, for instance, that you might not think as a pre-existing condition or a health condition that puts you more at risk, but it honestly does. For instance, people who are overweight and obese are at a greater risk for chronic disease, like heart disease and diabetes, which I mentioned, but also infectious diseases. So you might ask why. Central obesity and chronic disease is associated with a systemic inflammation or systemic response, which weakens our immune system. So one of the things that we saw again in 2020 was if you were going into a year like that with a pandemic and your immune system was already weakened, you were more at risk. And so don't just think, like I said, of pre-existing conditions just like COPD or cardiovascular disease or diabetes. Simply obesity decreases your immune system and allows just your body to be more prone to infections and disease states. And I think that's something that we forget, especially in America, in the United States, where, people literally call the standard American diet, for abbreviation, is called the SAD diet, because it is. It's full of fast food, it's full of processed inflammatory oils that people are cooking with at restaurants. And they have to feed the masses, to feed the demand. The ingredients can't be top quality or people wouldn't be able to afford it. And that's the other beautiful thing about this program, which we'll talk about, is it's so affordable. I'll break down the meals for you here in just a little bit. But also I wanted to explain to you that statistics have shown a positive correlation between COVID-19 cases and the estimated population with a BMI greater than or equal to 40. So with that being said, one thing that the Western medical model and our more homeopathic model can agree with is you have to address the lifestyle factors first. It doesn't matter what kind of medication you get put on. It doesn't matter whatever path you decide to go on. If you have an unhealthy host, which is an unhealthy body, any supplement, medication, injection that you put into that body, the body is not going to allow that injection or supplement or medicine to actually function the way that man designed it to function. So even when you're on medication, if you want the fullest effect of that, you've got to take care of your host. You've got to change your lifestyle factors first. So I'm going to move on. I've given you a little sneak peek of what the WholelifeRx program is. I said it's a 12-week program, but let me break it down just a little bit better. It involves the 5 pillars of health. So it involves, these are the lifestyle pillars that I just mentioned. It involves detox, nutrition, movement, mindset, and restoration. And so think about this for a minute. If I have the most, spectacular, flawless diet, but I'm driving to work and spending, maybe 2.5, 3 hours commute to work, and I'm sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, or I'm working from home and sitting behind my computer for 8 hours a day, I'm not getting any movement. I might be so stimulated from the technology that I'm not sleeping well, but my diet's 100%. I'm eating amazing. So why am I not feeling the benefits of this effort? Well, it's because it's a full lifestyle effect. No matter how good your diet is, if you're not sleeping well, you're not getting enough movement, and if you have an unhealthy mind, none of your effort is going to give you the results that you're looking for. So that's the other beautiful thing about this program is I have designed it to be a lifestyle program, meaning I'm addressing every single pillar that I just mentioned. And the beauty of this program is it's not going to take you that long to do every pillar every day. So if you're thinking like, okay, Dr. Sokol, if I have to put an hour in at the gym and I have to get every night 8 hours of sleep, and I have to cook my meals ahead of time, I'm just not going to have the time to live this lifestyle. Well, let me be honest. We do need about 7.5 hours of sleep to actually recover. But, there are going to be nights, trust me, as a mom, I know that there are nights when I'm only getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep because maybe my child is sick or, just up with something in the middle of the night. And so the thing about this is I'm going to teach you how, if sleep has to give, in the middle of the night because something came up with your family, how do you make up for it throughout that next day with your nutrition and your movement? And what does that look like? If one pillar has to give, what do the others need to look like to find balance? And again, that's the clarity that I'm going to bring to this program. So there's no guessing about it. I'm going to handhold you and walk you through every step of it and educate you so that you can, after the 12 weeks, know exactly what this should look like instead of the fad crash diets where after 12 weeks you're putting all that weight back on. That's not this at all. This is an actual 12-week medicine lifestyle program. The other things about the program is it has clinical testing. So there are 3 different times. Like I said, it's a 12-week program. So during week 1, on week 6, and then again on week 12, we're going to do baseline clinical testing. One of those tests involves an online questionnaire, which is amazing. It shows me an actual burdens graph where every single organ in the body, based off of your answers, is shown with how elevated or stressed or how much demand you're putting on that specific organ system in the body. And so that allows us to see changes over the 12 weeks, and it allows us to individualize this program. So if one of your health burdens based off of this questionnaire is your thyroid, that's a different path that we're going to take versus the next person may have a sugar handling issue. And so we, address that first. The next person might have an adrenal issue. And so we can individualize this program too to match your needs based off of the questionnaire, which is the clinical assessment that we do 3 times throughout the program. The other thing about the program is we're going to get baseline measurements so that you can see the changes. This program alone, just for weight loss, if there's no other health conditions that you're suffering and you just are looking for weight loss, we will target your changes throughout the entire 12 weeks so that you can see the effects. I've actually had several people on this program already, and one in particular who's struggled to lose weight has lost 6 pounds in the first 2 weeks. So it's a pretty awesome program, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm going to handhold you through this, meaning I've set it up to basically in advance, I've already took the time to develop emails that will be sent to you. So every week you're going to receive 3 emails that I've already automated that are based on education. I'm going to educate you through every pillar about detoxing, movement. I'm going to educate you on nutrition. I'm going to educate you on sleep, mindset and restoration habits. So you're going to get the support that you deserve, and also you can use your HSA account to purchase the program. So there's also some financial support there as well. And one more thing is we're going to offer a group discount. So if you or a friend or family member, say 3 or more, want to do the program together, which I think is better because the more support you have, the better you're going to maintain that everyday temptation. You're gonna look above that because you have other friends with this program or other friends doing this program with you. So if you have 3 or more people, we're gonna offer a discount there. So like I said, I'm gonna support you financially. I'm gonna support you, by accountability and education. And so I'm excited about this program because I've done meal plans in the past before for our office, and meal plans are awesome. It just takes a specific person to do that, to keep that sustainable. For some of us, we just don't know where to get started. For some of us, we don't want to follow, exact measurements every single day. So this is like the way to ease into that and to get a healthy lifestyle going. And so if you don't even know where to start, the 12-week program is where you should start. So the first 2 weeks of the program are all about detoxing. And so you might ask, why would we need to detox? Which I actually think is the next slide, so I'm going to jump to that first. Why should we detox? Well, let me explain to you that the body naturally detoxes every single day. We have to. The way that we metabolize our foods and think, and even think supplements, foods, chemicals, our body has to get rid of these, and so we detox naturally. When you find chronic disease, typically where that begins is we lack the ability to eliminate toxins. And so think about it this way. Some people may say like, hey, I don't actually sweat on a daily basis. There's probably an issue there. Sweating is a form of detoxing. Some people who don't move, their pores never get that, excretion of hormones through the skin. And our skin is our biggest organ in the body, to be honest. The other thing is, elimination of urine and feces. We do so many stool tests in our office because there's a lot of people out there with gut issues, like IBS and Crohn's, and celiacs and autoimmune conditions. And we always look at the gut first. And so, as much as you don't want to talk about it, we're always doing stool tests to see, okay, what is your body suffering with and what is it not able to eliminate? And so to detox and to clear the detox systems first sets you up for success with everything else down the road. So if you're the type of person who's done, let's say, challenges in the past or some kind of weight loss program or some kind of health challenge, if you never spent the time to detox first, you probably didn't reap the benefits of the program. And so that might have been also why you put the weight back on when the program was over. So we've really broken down the first 2 weeks. I'm gonna go back just a minute here. This is the product that we focus on the first 2 weeks. And what they are they're shakes. You open up that kit and there are 2 weeks of shakes in there. And so you're doing a shake 2 times a day. So for 2 meals, you would complete a shake. And then for 1 meal, you would do like a lean and green meal. The benefits of this program too is in every kit, there's a pamphlet that you open up and it breaks down, okay, during that 1 meal a day and snacks, what should I be ingesting with these shakes? So again, there's no guessing game. It is literally broken down for you, what you should be ingesting every single day. Now the shakes are very filling. If you talk to anyone who's done this program already, they will say to you, like, I'm not hungry while doing this program. Because I think a lot of people have a fear of like, hey, if I'm skipping 2 meals a day, am I not gonna be hungry? And the truth is no, these shakes are meant to be meal replacements. And so they're full, they're packed full of proteins. For instance, the NutriClear Plus shake that you see on the screen has in it things to help you digest your shake and meals like bromelain, Liver Plus, which is from Biotics. It's a liver support. Beta TCP, which is a digestive enzyme to help you break down your food so that you're getting the fullest absorption of foods during this program. It also comes, like I said, with the packets and capsules. So basically you would just put it in a blender with, say, like some cashew or almond milk or some kind of milk alternative, blend it down. I've had some people throw in a handful of berries or like maybe say a fourth or a half a banana and just drink it. It's convenient. When you're driving to work, if you need to get the shake in, it's a convenient way to get it in. If you're a busy mom at home like myself, it's an easy way to get it in. And the one thing, if you've ever worked with me before in the past, if you know, is I'm a huge shake fan. I'm not a kit fan, meaning I've really never liked kits. I've always said, hey, let's just get this from your food. Okay, well, looking back at when I think as a doctor you grow, and looking back at when that was my recommendation, I didn't have kids. I didn't have the busy life that I have now. And here's the thing, when you're trying to eat a meal, but yet you have stuff that needs to get done around the house. You have kids that are yelling at you. A kid where a diaper needs changed. You have laundry to do. You have family to help. When that's your lifestyle, which is all of Americans, to be honest, when you're trying to eat a meal in literally like 5 or 10 minutes, what you're gonna find is you're bloated. That meal sits in your chest so long because in order for us to actually digest our food, we have to be in a parasympathetic state, which means a rest and digest state. And you're not in that state when you're driving to work. You're not in that state when you're around the house and kids are yelling at you. You're not in that state when you're at work and there's, a fast-paced schedule of meetings and patients that are demanding your time. So I tried in the beginning of my parenthood days to still eat that real whole food. And what I found was I was getting bloating, I was getting stomach issues because I wasn't digesting it appropriately. So I make it a point now that, okay, dinner is my meal that I sit down with the family and I eat. And we have time to sit and eat it. It's not rushed. But some days during the other, breakfast and lunch, I don't have time for that. And so I don't want to stress my system out by just, shoving food into my mouth and then going on my way. I actually tried that and I found that I was doing more damage to my body because I wasn't actually getting myself into that state of relaxation or that state of digestion. A lot of people today don't even chew their food. I mean, how many relatives do you know that you sit down with over the holidays and one minute they have a plate full and then the next minute you look back and it's gone? That's not a healthy way to eat. We have forgotten as Americans how to make food a ritual, which means giving it time. And I'm human. I'm just as guilty of that. And so I've had to change my thoughts. And this program was a huge eye-opener for me as well. So this is why we detox. This is the way that we focus on detoxing during the first 2 weeks of the program. This specific product is easily digested. It's certified organic pea protein. It's got medium chain triglycerides. It's got added fiber and an extensive array of antioxidants in it. It's got nitrogreens, fiber, fruit, vegetables. It's one of the most safest ways to do a detox. So if you've ever done a detox in the past and you've felt maybe bad from it, this is a very safe and efficient way to detox without all the side effects. So then we're going to move on to, after the first 2 weeks of the program, the remaining weeks, so that would be 10 weeks of the program, we switch you over to this specific product, which is called Metabolic Biome Plus. This program, this part of the program is my favorite. So once I got to this part of the program, I was blown away because so yes, the first 2 weeks you're doing shakes as well, but that's a detox, right? So these shakes, the flavors that are available in these are amazing. There's the 3 different types are collagen, whey, and pea protein. So it fits people that cannot have dairy. It fits people that want to be active. And it also fits people that, maybe are a little bit older and want the collagen boost. So there's collagen, pea, and whey protein. And then they come in a vanilla and chocolate flavor. Personally, the vanilla, I'm not a huge chocolate person. The vanilla is my favorite. But these have been game-changing for me. I mean, I actually crave these shakes on a daily basis. And I've actually heard my patients who have been on the program say the same thing. You know, I had one person, he's actually still in the program. I mean, now this takes a lot of willpower, so don't give the program all of this credit. He's a very amazing person to do this, but he quit his nicotine cold turkey and actually said that like this kit was something that he started to crave on a daily basis, kind of like in replace of that old habit. So there's so much benefit to this program. Let me give you a breakdown of what's in this specific product. So this basically mimics a diverse, like plant-based diet. Think of it that way. It is full of polyphenols. Polyphenols are antioxidants with diverse properties that affect our cellular pathways. So we know that polyphenols help with states of cardiovascular disease, cancer, obesity, COPD, I mean, you name it. Polyphenols are a group of antioxidants that have a very powerful effect on these chronic disease states. Again, though, if you're somebody that doesn't have a chronic disease state and you just want to lose weight, this is a basic meal replacement. And the way that it helps with weight loss is it has a ton of glucose support in it, meaning that for people who find themselves craving sweets throughout the day or having the hypoglycemia crashes, this product, this kit, the Metabolic Biome Plus, has glucose support or insulin support built into it to help you get over that hypoglycemia. And so I want you to know, and we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, so I might be jumping ahead, but when there's insulin sensitivity issues, weight loss is never going to happen. For me, postpartum, my insulin was through the roof because I was waking up like 3-4 times a night to feed my little one. And so my cortisol was so elevated. And then, you know, I tried to get through the day, but I was craving sweets. I wanted sugar. And that to me was a sign that my insulin sensitivity was so off. I've never been the type to crave a lot of carbs, but postpartum, I mean, that's a sign to you right there that the stress of life alone, the stress of postpartum, not sleeping well, and having somebody else to take care of constantly, took someone like myself who's really not a carb person at all. I mean, I love them for, you know, performance, but just to get throughout the day, I did better on fats, and I went the complete opposite. And these helped turn that back around for me. So that is one of the huge effects of these kits alone. So I'm also going to go through the breakdown of the kit. So there's 20 grams of protein. There are 9 grams of healthy fats, 9 grams of fiber. It's a great tasting powder, like I mentioned to you. It mixes really easy. I love smoothies, so I like to put mine in the blender and just blend it down. And like I said, throw a little bit of maybe, for me, I did like a little bit of extra nuts and berries because I like the crunch. But if you're someone that just likes a simple smoothie, you could do a milk alternative and the powder and be done. Also, it's gluten-free. It's sweetened with monk fruit, so there's no additional sweeteners or sugar alcohols in it. The product I was talking to you about that helps with the sugar is called GlucoResolve, and that's from Biotics. It helps support basically your insulin levels. It also has in it a high dose of omegas, which I love. So remember, this kit it's a complete meal replacement. I think a lot of people, when they try to do shakes, which, you know, like a protein powder, you're just getting the protein and you may find that you're still hungry. Like a lot of people don't think of a shake as being a full meal. This will fill you up, I'm telling you. So again, let's go back a little bit to how healthy are you on the inside, and why doing the Detox and the Metabolic Biome kits in this program, why they work so well. So one of the things that you may have heard before in the past is you are what you eat. But I like to say that we know now that you are what your microbiome craves. So a lot of people will say, like, I don't have the willpower. I've tried and I can't cut out the sugar. I still want it. Well, let me be honest. One of those reasons is because you haven't balanced your insulin, like I said. But the other reason is because your insides aren't healthy. You have an overgrowth of bacteria where when people have yeast and they crave sugars and they crave carbs, like processed carbs, it's because you have a growth of yeast in your body, and that that overgrowth or those microbiomes, those bacteria are actually telling you what to eat. And so it's not a lack of willpower, it's being unhealthy on the insides. And so this program, the reason we do the detox and these kits, the metabolic biome kits with it, is to help revamp your insides. And that takes time, and that's why it's a 12-week program. And so I also want you to know that for the last 15 years, there's been a lot of interest in the microbiome and its role in weight loss. Research suggests this idea. There is a strong connection between polyphenols and gut microbiota. It is beginning to look like polyphenols can help balance bowel flora, resulting in improvement in blood glucose levels and even weight loss. So, I mean, I read that statistic right off of my notes, and I mean, honestly, I cannot tell you enough that when you do something like this, a program that addresses your insides and not just a crash diet, this is what makes a difference. I've seen other programs that patients have brought into my office and they said, hey, you know, doing this program, what do you think? Honestly, I look at the ingredients and some of them are so heavy in like soy-based products. And it's not that soy is bad for us in moderation, but if that's something you're ingesting every single day, soy increases our estrogens. High estrogens increase our inflammation. It throws off our blood sugar. It systemically is not good for our body when we're getting that high of a dose. So you really have to look at the products. When you break down this product, like I said, you're going to see that it's sweetened with monk fruit. It's got things in it to support blood sugar. It's all organic. It's gluten-free. You have the choice of being dairy-free. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to go on to the blood sugar. I've dabbled in this, but I want to give you some statistics. According to the World Health Organization, there are 422 million people with diabetes. Also, though, there are 318 million with impaired glucose tolerance. And so this is what I'm trying to get across to you. Every female, and not just female, but being a female myself, I have a lot of female patients. When they come to me and they can't lose weight or they can't change the weight around their central abdominal area, honestly, when I can get them to get their sugar under control, their blood sugar levels, it goes away like that. If you don't believe me, this is the cheapest test you can do. Go on Amazon, buy a glucose monitor. It's like $30. It comes with the prick, the finger prick, and the strips and the monitor. Check your sugar at home. Fasting sugars. A lot of people are waking up with fasting sugars like 98, 100. Let me just, for example, 120, a fasted sugar of 120 is considered diabetes. So when you're waking up and your fasted sugar is 98, 100, 101, you're essentially pre-diabetic at that stage. You're trending towards diabetes. And so we like to have a fasted blood sugar around 86. That's optimal. Now that's really hard to achieve. When I was postpartum, I was not achieving that. I was too stressed. My cortisol was through the roof. It took me about 3 months, the 12-week program, to get things back down. And still, I'll notice that if for some reason my daughter wakes up in the middle of the night, if I test my sugar that morning, I'm off. And so the program is going to tell you how to deal with that, you know, those ups and downs in life. But honestly, go test your sugar. I'm telling you, even if you don't have diabetes, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and see if you maybe just have some glucose impairment, some insulin sensitivity. The other thing I want to explain to you is how, I want to break it down for you, how cortisol affects us, because I have a lot of people who ask this question about stress. They don't understand. When you are stressed, your cortisol increases, right? Cortisol is one of our hormones. It's a stress response hormone. It's meant to be released in the body so that we have energy to, think of our ancestors, like run from a bear or run from a tribe that's about to attack us. We need that glucose in our bodies. It gets all of the blood out to our extremities so that we can use them and we can be fast. But when we're living in a chronic state of stress, meaning phone calls out the wazoo and emails for work out the wazoo, where we've got Houston traffic, you know, behind a computer all day long, we've got babies at home to take care of, we've got, you know, aging parents, I mean, you name it, the stress that we're under, we have cortisol all the time. And so what that does is it allows sugar to sit in the circulation in the blood vessels instead of getting that sugar into the cell. So what happens is you eat sugar, but then like a little bit later, you're like, I'm still hungry. Okay, that's because you never got that sugar into the cell for fuel. So that's where stress affects our insulin, and I think that's one of the biggest lessons people miss. And so that's why I want to harp on it and explain to you why this program works so well. I've probably beaten it over the head a million times so far with this webinar and blood sugar. But one more thing I'm going to say is how blood sugar dysfunction and insulin sensitivity also affects our genetics. So if we are genetically prone, say we have a predisposition that runs in our family for chronic disease, or even neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, dementia, we consider those chronic disease states to be, we call them diabetes of the brain, which is basically blood sugar dysregulation and insulin sensitivity that's never been addressed. And then we let it go, we let it go, and then it starts affecting our brain. And so this is how things that are genetically in our DNA get brought out to gene expression. They get expressed as we age because we've never addressed the underlying health issues like insulin sensitivity. Moving on, I also wanted you to understand this. We are seeing an alarming increase in many diseases related to the gut, including Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, colitis, acid reflux disease, gluten and casein intolerance, celiac, and leaky gut. These are things that even if you are on medication for these disease states, you can still do the program. The program is not going to impede on any medications or supplements that you're already on, because all it is it's basically, like I said, a 12-week medicine program where you're addressing the foundation. You're addressing blood sugar sensitivities. You're addressing your inability to detox. Once those pathways are cleared up, everything works so much better. Like I said in the beginning, even your prescriptions will work better. You might find that you need less, and you can work with your doctor to eventually come off of them. I mean, that's not my place to say, but these are things that you can start to bring up to your doctors. In fact, you know, when you've been on medications and doctors have to keep, you know, going from one to the next. I mean, think of thyroid prescriptions, for example. When you spend a year bouncing around from one strength to the next, because you're missing something. You've never addressed the underlying factor. You've never got your host or your body or the foundation set. So nothing else is ever going to be consistent in your life. The other thing though about the program is it's not all just kits and shakes. Like I said in the beginning, there is a diet that goes along with this program, but I wouldn't even say it's a diet. It's educating you on how to eat healthy around the kits. And so there is a list of foods that are the most optimal that are actually listed in each kit. But I'm going to be giving you recipes, and, you know, for instance, I have a recipe for gluten-free banana oatmeal pancakes. I've got tasty breakfast smoothie recipes right in here, things like salmon salads, steak and potatoes. I mean, who doesn't like steak and potatoes, right? So this stuff can be healthy, and there's going to be a lot of learning about the quality of nutrition that you're getting beyond the shakes. But let me explain to you again. One of the reasons that programs typically don't work is because the people that sign up for the programs feel bombarded with information. That is not what this program is going to do. It's taking you through a step-by-step process. So we start you on the shakes so that you don't actually have to worry too much about 3 meals a day. All you really have to do is 2 shakes a day and then 1 meal. So for the first 6 weeks of the program, all you're really worrying about is cooking 1 meal a day. It's amazingly simple. And then we start bringing in a 2nd meal a day, and I start giving you recipes and options for that. And by the end of the program, you're eating, again, 3 meals a day, but you're keeping the shakes handy in case your day gets too busy and you have to skip a meal. Well, then there's the meal replacement shake again. I mean, this is a foolproof program. I'm not even kidding you. One of the other things I wanted to mention about the nutrition is, again, I'm going to have people in the community join us to tell us about how we make cooking in the kitchen accessible to the whole family and fun and convenient and easy. So I also have somebody who's going to be in the program that's going to teach us how to cook gluten-free. And I mean, her meals are amazing. She's got an entire blog that I'm going to link you to. I mean, I've had her make cakes for my daughter's baptism and family events because they're gluten-free, they're dairy-free, they're amazing, and they taste so good. I want you to see how good it can taste when you're cooking right in the kitchen. The other pillar, like I said, is movement. And again, I think people think of movement as like, hey, I don't have an hour to give every day at the gym. Well, let's be honest, I don't either. I can't tell you the last time I've spent an hour in a gym to get my activity in. I have learned, and this is what I want to teach you, is how you break activity up through the entire day so that you're active all day long in bursts, so that it doesn't even feel like you're working out. Like, it's amazing when you learn how to move, even if you have a desk job. You know, we work like, hey, at your office, are there stairs you can take? Can you take a lap around the outside of the office? Can you park furthest from the grocery store? You know, are there things in your house that you can arrange so you have to walk a little bit further to get it? And the way I have proof of that myself is, you know, I've recently, probably in the past 6 months, purchased the Oura Ring. The steps I get in at the end of the day, I have not really had a day under probably 10, 12,000 steps, just the way I've structured my day. And yeah, maybe once a day I'm taking my daughter on a walk, but other than that, I'm moving all day long. And so that's the kind of movement I want for you. Now, there are times when we do need like HIIT circuits, we need to get the cardiovascular system up just to make sure that we can still do that and our heart is healthy. Again, I'm gonna walk you through that though. I am hosting Dr. Taylor Levick in the program, who is going to also do for us a joint mobility routine that takes, you know, 10, 15 minutes that addresses head to toe joints. It's something I've probably put into my physical routine within the past 2 years. And I mean, if I feel a joint pain, even though I'm a chiropractor, I now know how to work through it. Without always having to get adjusted. You know, as much as I adjust people all day long, I don't really ever have the time to get work on myself, but yet I put the time with these kind of like mobility tips to work out the kinks, and that's what I want to teach you. The other thing about the program, I will mention this too, if you've worked with us in the office, you know Alicia Black is our certified rehab specialist, and she's also going to be hosted on the program to show us some workouts and the 5 fundamental movements to good joint health as well. So we have a lot of people that are going to take the time to join us and teach us in this program. I also want to I don't want to leave out those that prefer events or movement series like yoga and Pilates. We're going to have some of that in the program too, which again, I myself have even picked up a lot more like flow movements like yoga postpartum that I feel amazing with. And so we're going to have that in the program as well. Moving on, we just got a couple more pillars to get through here real quick. I want to teach you how to restore in the program. So a lot of people think of restoration as just sleep, but it's not. A lot of it, restoration comes from mental health. In our office, we have the infrared sauna, which I love to use to restore, you know, my detox pathways and to sweat, like I said in the beginning, out some of my toxins, to restore heat and movement in my body. The other thing, though, is the mindset part of the program is we're going to have somebody host a guided meditation to help us learn how to restore our bodies mentally, because a lot of time restoration comes from a positive mindset. You can't get back to a restorative state if you have toxic thoughts going on in your body. So that's one way that we're going to address restoration. Again, I talked about sleep. I talked about, you know, trying to get yourself that 7.5 hour window at night. We're going to talk about sleep hygiene routines and how, if you want to sleep better at night, how that starts in the morning by setting your blood sugars. right first thing in the morning. A lot of people find that they skip breakfast and they start craving sweets around that lunchtime, and then they have that afternoon crash. And so then when bedtime comes, they're like wide awake and they can't shut their minds off. It's because you didn't set up your cortisol hormone right from the very beginning, and because you're stimulated all day with screens. So we want to talk about how to replenish sleep, how to set up that, sleep hygiene routine first thing in the morning when you wake up. So we're going to go through that. Again, I mentioned the mindset, the mental benefits of this program, how we can actually change our bodies when we have the right mindset. And not only are we going to have a guided meditation, but we're going to have, we're hosting somebody in the community that's also going to show us how to restore your living space. So areas in your house, like your kitchen, maybe you want an area where you can sit and do devotionals, maybe you need an area where you can work out in, but if you're like me and you don't have that set up, you get distracted, you're like a squirrel. So you might sit down for some daily devotional and then all of a sudden you see something out of the corner of your eye and that, messes up with the efficiency of your time. So we're gonna help you get your mind right by getting your spaces right in your house. And we have somebody that's gonna host us in this program on how to organize spaces to help with your mental efficiency. Especially now with a lot of people working from home, you're going to notice that you can't be as efficient unless you have your space set up right at home. So we're going to be doing that. The other thing too is learning about our central nervous system and how, like I said, if we are chronically stimulated, how it puts us in a sympathetic state, which is like a fight or flight state. But when we learn how to just with deep breathing practices, get our CNS desensitized to all this overstimulus that goes on to our life, we learn how much more control we have of our day. And so for me, I'm going to explain to you real quick, like for me, I think the mental part of health has been the most challenging. Even postpartum for me was really rough. I think that I definitely would say that I had a little bit of postpartum, and how did that affect my cortisol levels, and how did that affect my want to work out and want to work. And so, being able to share that with you and the emotional up and downs, the emotional swings that came with that state of my life, what I found was no matter how much I tried to fix it, if I didn't go back and address my blood sugar and get my foundation right, I felt like Groundhog Day all over again. So, I mean, I am proof of this myself, of how the program really addresses the foundation to health. And so, all right, that was the program in a nutshell. What you're going to need for this program, honestly, I can say the biggest thing is you're going to need just a positive mind. If you are somebody, like I said, who has tried things over and over and over again, and you're even hesitant about this, and you go into this program with hesitation, it's not going to work for you. I have spent so much time building this program to be a non-fail program. And so a part of it is, read the testimonials, talk to people that have worked with us in the past and know how dedicated we are to giving you the support that you need to make this program a win-win for you. And so all I need is an open mind. I need a willingness to make lifestyle changes. If you are unwilling to change your life, my reply to you is look at where you are right now. And if you have been stubborn in changing habits in the past, where has that gotten you? Are you in that Groundhog Day, scenario over and over again? If so, then it's time for you to probably change some of your lifestyle habits. And the program makes it easy. It's not like pulling teeth, I promise you. This is coming from somebody who's a little stubborn, themselves, which is me. I need to have, phases of grace when I'm making lifestyle habits in my own life. And that's what this program allows. It gives grace, but in the right amounts so that you're not, setting yourself up for self-sabotage. You have the accountability of me, you have the accountability of others around you. There's an online Facebook support group. So this is really set up for total success. So to get started, all you have to do right now is call our office, 832-813-8451, and tell Mel that you're ready to start the WholelifeRx program, and we will get the kits, all the 12-week products will be shipped out to you immediately so that you can get it started. She'll set you up for your first hour consult. I'll email you the questionnaire. I'll get those result backs. We'll sit down either in person or via Zoom and go over all of your individualized results and how this program is going to be shaped for your individual health needs. And then we schedule our follow-ups. I add you to the Facebook group. I send you out the emails. I mean, it's like a key turn kind of program. So you just got to call. And the program is going to be officially, the first 12 weeks is going to be officially launching January 11th. However, we're going to be doing, multiple series of these. And so I just welcome you. I welcome you to get started. It's going to be a fabulous year, and we've already had great results from the program. So be sure to call. There will be a way to do this online via PayPal in the near future, but not yet. Right now, we're just having people call and sign up. And so I thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and escape this. And I hope that you guys all enjoy the rest of the day, and I can't wait to work with you.